Hey everyone, welcome into another Webinar Wednesday. So today we have compiled a list of our 10 most common federal disability retirement questions that we receive. To help answer those questions, today we have Hannah and Kylie. Hannah is our client experience specialist, and you all have probably seen her in some of our other YouTube videos. Kylie is one of our many consultation specialists that we have here at the firm, so you might have talked to her when calling in to our office. Now, before we get started, make sure to check out the bottom right-hand corner of your screen for a little chat box where you can type in all of your questions, and our team members that are here live right now will get to them as soon as possible. And a quick disclaimer, keep in mind that this presentation is provided for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. And because of this, it does not establish an attorney-client relationship, as Harris Federal is only striving to educate federal employees on their benefits. Now, let's get started. Take it away, Hannah and Kylie.
Hi everyone, my name is Hannah Spahn and I'm the Client Experience Specialist here at Harris Federal Law Firm. I'm super excited to talk to you today, and I'm here with Kylie.
Hey guys, this is Kylie Adams. I'm a consultation specialist here at Harris Federal Employee Law Firm. If you call our firm, I may be the one that answers the phone or does your initial evaluation. I'm super excited to be here today.
All right, jumping right in, we're going to be talking about the top 10 federal disability retirement questions. Now, today in this webinar, we're going to go over what is federal disability retirement, provide a brief benefit overview. We're going to discuss your high 3 average, your TSP, and what happens to it while on federal disability retirement. And then we're going to talk about requesting reasonable accommodations. Okay, so first we're going to talk about understanding federal disability retirement, what it is, and what it can do for you. Kylie, can you tell us a little bit more about this benefit?
Of course, Hannah. Federal disability retirement is a benefit that is made specifically for federal employees who pay into the federal employee retirement system. The OPM requires that you have 18 months of credible service, and they're the ones that ultimately decide if you are approved or denied for this benefit.
All right, so federal disability retirement provides 4 main benefits. You're going to receive a monthly annuity, credible years of service until age 62, the ability to work in the private sector, and the option to maintain your health and life insurance. Now, everyone always asks, how much am I going to receive? So on federal disability retirement, the first year, you're going to be receiving 60% of your high 3 average. And every year after, you're going to receive 40% of your high 3 average.
You're exactly right, Hannah. Keep in mind that this benefit is also taxable income. So let's take a look at our visual representation of your retirement annuity. If you take a look on the left, you'll see that you have a pile of coins representing your high 3 average. Moving on to year 1, you're going to be receiving 60% of your high 3, and then the years following until you are age 62, you'll be receiving 40% of your high 3 salary.
Exactly. Now, this is a secure monthly annuity that you're going to be receiving until age 62, but during this time, you also have the option to work in the private sector and earn additional money. So for federal disability retirement, you're just proving that you have an occupational disability, not necessarily a total disability. So this allows you to find a new job in the private sector that falls within your medical restrictions.
Exactly, Hannah. You can earn up to 80% of your old position's current salary as long as it is within your medical restrictions. You could be a delivery driver, an attorney, a teacher, a realtor. The options are limitless.
Now, looking at a visual representation of your private sector work, as Kylie said, you can earn up to 80% of your old position's current salary. So that stack of money to the left represents your original salary, and then the stacks to the right of that represent 80% of your original salary. Now, as you can see, the coins there represent your disability annuity that you can receive on top of your 80% in the private sector. The combination of both of these benefits will equal more than you were originally receiving in your old job.
Now, on the topic of working, while you are receiving federal disability retirement, you are still accruing credible years of service into your regular retirement. This is something that you will really want to pay attention to whenever you are deciding if this is an option that you want to pursue. For instance, If you were to medically retire at age 42, you would be accruing an additional 20 years into your regular retirement without working for the federal government. This results in an excellent pension once you turn 62.
Another great benefit to federal disability retirement is the ability to maintain your health and life insurance. This can make a huge difference to federal employees covering the cost of their medical condition. Now, let's get into the top 10 questions that we get asked all the time. So question number 1, what is the high 3 average? We mentioned this earlier when talking about calculating your federal disability retirement annuity, but your high 3 average is going to be the average of your highest 36 consecutive months of adjusted basic pay. This number will be calculated by the OPM, but it can also be found on your SF50.
Exactly, Hannah. Knowing your high 3 average is super important before you get started with this whole process. Moving on to question number 2, do you have to be approved for Social Security disability to qualify for federal disability retirement? Short answer is no, you do not have to be approved. However, the OPM does require that you apply for this benefit. It does not matter if you're approved or denied. It's just a box that we have to check to make sure that we meet all of the requirements set in place by the OPM. If you are approved for Social Security disability and you are approved for federal disability retirement, there is an offset to the amount of money that you would receive. This is something that we can discuss during your consultation, so if you have any questions, go ahead and give us a call and we can get you set up for a consultation.
Exactly. And now speaking about benefit interactions, question number 3 is, can I receive OWCP workers' compensation while on federal disability retirement? So you cannot receive OWCP wage loss payments and federal disability retirement at the same time. However, you can apply for both benefits and place your disability retirement on hold until your wage loss runs out. OWCP wage loss is typically more of a short-term benefit, while federal disability retirement is long-term. So we want you to maximize your retirement as much as possible.
Exactly. You can receive a schedule award or any medical payments while on federal disability retirement, though. Now, a question that I get asked very often is, what happens to my TSP? And this is one of the biggest changes to your benefits while you are receiving federal disability retirement. You are no longer able to contribute to your TSP while you are on this benefit. With your TSP, you have 3 options. You can leave it alone and let it collect interest, you can roll it over, or you can cash it out. It is important to note that if you do cash it out, there are fees and penalties that you may have to pay according to your age. That's why we suggest you contact a financial advisor to get the best advice for your current situation.
Another thing that can vary based on your situation is whether or not to elect a survivor annuity. A survivor annuity determines how much your spouse can receive from your pension if you pass away in retirement before them. If you elect a full survivor annuity, your annuity will be reduced by 10%. If you elect a partial survivor annuity, your annuity will be reduced by 5%. And if you do not elect a survivor annuity, your annuity will not be reduced and your spouse will not receive any benefit. But keep in mind, in order to elect a partial survivor annuity or no survivor annuity, your spouse is going to have to sign a waiver.
Correct. It's also important to note that this option is only available for your spouse. And if your spouse does pass before you, the reduced amount is lost. So moving on to question 6, we touched on this a little bit earlier, but we can elaborate a little bit more now. Can I work after I retire? And the answer is yes, you can. That's one of the best things about being on federal disability retirement is you're able to work in the private sector while you're receiving your annuity payments. As long as you are not earning more than 80% of your old position's current salary and you are working within your medical restrictions.
However, it is not recommended to return to work in the federal government as it can affect your annuity.
Exactly. I've spoken with a lot of clients in the past and they have found their new passion and they've started a new chapter in their life. I actually spoke with a client a few months ago and they told me they were going to pursue their passion in zookeeping. So the options are truly limitless, like I said earlier.
So while working in the private sector, we mentioned that there was an income cap, and we get a lot of questions about what is counted towards this 80% income cap. So only earned income counts towards this 80% income cap while working on federal disability retirement. This is any income earned from wages or in exchange for goods and services. This does not, however, include passive income, which is why it's recommended to speak with a CPA to learn more about your earnings.
One of the most common questions I get asked daily is what happens if I am denied? This happens sometimes, and it's a process that we are familiar with. We have a whole team at our firm that just works on appeals. If you are denied, you can submit an appeal for reconsideration within the first 30 days of your denial letter. From there, we can submit additional medical evidence and further documentation to strengthen your claim. If you are denied after your reconsideration, you will have to request an appeal and meet with the MSPB in a hearing with our attorney.
While it's not a requirement, it is highly recommended to have legal representation at the denial stage, as there's going to be a lot of legal jargon and processes that are difficult to go through alone. Now, a lot of our clients are worried if their benefit can be taken away. Kylie, can it?
It actually can be taken away. The OPM will perform annual income and medical reviews to make sure that you are still qualified for this benefit.
To help ensure that you do not lose your annuity, it's important to stay under the income cap and continue seeking treatment with a medical professional. We often recommend seeking treatment every 6 months just to keep up communications.
Reviews by the OPM are completely normal, and it's rare to lose your benefit during an annual review. Now, one of the requirements for federal disability retirement is requesting reasonable accommodation at your federal workplace. You must exhaust all reasonable accommodation efforts with your agency before applying for disability retirement.
If you are separated before you can request an accommodation, you will then have to prove that there is no accommodation that would allow you to fully perform your job. This is often a difficult task, which is why it's recommended to request reasonable accommodations as soon as possible.
If you have already exhausted all reasonable accommodation efforts, then federal disability retirement may be your next logical step.
We don't want you to risk your future, which is why we're here to help. We have an experienced legal team ready to take the burden off your shoulders and give you the confidence that your claim is ready for an approval. We've worked with the OPM for years, and we know exactly what they're looking for in a strong federal disability retirement case.
All right, Hannah, I know we just went over a lot of stuff, so let's have a quick little recap. Federal disability retirement really can be confusing to understand, but we're here to educate all federal employees on the benefits that they are entitled to.
Exactly. And don't forget that you have 3 options for your TSP, 3 options for your survivor annuity, and you can continue to work, and you must request a reasonable accommodation to have the strongest federal disability retirement case.
We are more than happy to evaluate your potential claim and answer any questions that were not addressed here today. We understand that applying for federal disability retirement is a huge step for most employees, which is why we provide expert guidance to you guys and our clients. Our familiarity with federal disability retirement, the OPM, and agency involvement has changed nearly 6,000 lives. So if you are considering federal disability retirement, please do not hesitate to contact us and schedule a consultation. I would be more than happy to speak with you.
Thanks, Kylie, for helping me answer our most commonly asked federal disability retirement questions. In the meantime, if you've got any other questions that weren't answered in this webinar, we've got team members here live answering questions in the chat. And you can schedule a free consultation to talk with our team directly. Now, Kylie, thanks for talking to me today. I had such a great time going over all of these questions with you.
Of course, Hannah. Thank you so much for having me. I also had a great time. I look forward to speaking with some of you during your consultations. Now back to you, Elizabeth.
Thanks, Hannah and Kylie. I know we had so much fun going over the answers to those questions. If you have any other questions, write them in the chat and we have team members here live answering those. If we do not get to those in time, please give our office a call to schedule a free consultation. And don't forget to check out the resource tab on our website to stay up to date on our latest federal content. Again, thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you next time.